So we're here with a quick deck tech for the league that you're about to see. As a friendly reminder, if you like what you're seeing on the channel, please consider subscribing, giving us a thumbs up, leaving a constructive comment down below. So I've been kind of messing with my own lists over the last several weeks to unbalanced effect. Some leagues have gone well, some haven't gone so well. So I tried out a different list this time around. It's kind of a simplistic list, very similar to the approach I took with the Bant Spirits list that I borrowed from Yama Killers. Run during the, I believe it was either a 5-0 or during 4-1 during a prelim, I can't remember which. But basically his sideboard and his main list were like 4-4-4-4-4-4-4-4-4-4-4, and the sideboard was like 4-4-4-3. This list is very similar in the approach. So, kind of very clear where you're bringing in certain cards, where you're not. A lot of people aren't huge fans of the card Path to Exile or Exquisite Firecraft, which are two cards that I tend to be quite attached to in some spots. So this list doesn't have any of that. We simply have 4 of each of the main spells, 4 copies of Searing Blaze, 20 lands, 4 Guide, 4 Swift Spear, 4 Eidolon, and then obviously 4 Blaze, 4 Charm, 4 Helix, 4 Riftbolt, 4 Skewer, 4 Lava Spike, 4 Lightning Bolt. All 4s across the board. No anti-life gain in the main deck. There's not a ton of life gain in the format right now, as Burn's kind of dipped down in the thing. I mean, there are some cards that hate on Burn, but in the main, they're either things like Uro or things like that, which Skullcrack's middling against to a certain degree. So the 4 Skullcracks are in the main. They're in the sideboard. 4 Smash to Smithereens. This is to combat the rise of the Urza decks. They're making a resurgence, as well as Tron, which are both threats in the meta right now. Rest in peace. Obviously, it's good to have some amount of graveyard hate for Dredge, for Storm, for the new Hollow Conscription deck that's running around. That's like the old Hollow Index with Eldrazi Conscription and some card that brings it back from the graveyard. And 4 copies of Core Firewalker for any type of red mirror you happen to run into, either Prowess or Burn usually. Could also occasionally run into Goblins or some type of Zoo build deck. It's basically the main deck, not a whole lot special going on with it. It's very simplistic, very simple across the board. So that said, let's hop into the matches. Okay, we're here for match number 1 with Boros Burn. It's a little bit awkward in terms of how much damage we're going to be taking from our lands, but other than that, the hand's pretty solid overall. Got 2 1-drops, a couple 1-drop spells. Tron. Depends on what version of Tron you are, I guess. Guess we shall find out. The Eldrazi variety or the... looks like the Green Tron variety. Alright. Okay, so they're going to have Tron on 3. They must already have natural Tron in hand. That's even worse. Yep, Natty Tron on the play, kind of brutal. Okay. Sure. Alright, do the thing. Turn 3. Alright, so Tron. Skull cracks. And so we're bringing out the blazes and the eidolons on the draw. So smashes, maybe? Not sure if I'm supposed to go the full 4 here, but definitely want blaze out and definitely want some number of eidolons out on the draw. Skull cracks in because you want to prevent Thragtusks and whatchamacallits, worm coils from gaining life. Smash to smithereens because worm coils and other things just need to randomly die. Never know if they have like a Karn Wishboard package, they could bring in Trinisphere, or, you know, depends on the build of their deck, but Smash is generally better than Eidolon, especially on the draw. Was definitely nice to break serve there, though. Because things can get a lot worse on after post board. They can bring in things like Weather the Storm, etc. Hand's pretty solid. Not fantastic, but solid. We only have one drop here in terms of creatures, which is pretty good. Okay, keep. I'm only getting a 5. All right, what you got there, friend? Alright, so we handed them a second Tron piece, which is kind of scary. We're going to attack with Goblin God, see what happens. Trigger. They have a answer here. Go and cast this. Spend this. I don't think we're going to quite have the turn 3 kill here, but And now Tron. Swag Tusk. There's the Swaggle. Currently 9 points of burn in hand, potentially. Question is, do I attack with both of these? I think the answer for right now is no. Swag Tusk is attacking, that's never a good sign. Room Coil or Ugin? Just hold the bolts and stuff here. So I guess our only hope is to Bolt Face and hope to rip one of our other 1-mana spells. Does that keep us alive? I think that barely keeps us alive. To 5. Sure. Yeah, if they have another Swag Tusk, we're just dead. Okay. And Boros turn. Alright, and we got there despite their kind of insane draw here in game 2. So on to the next match. We are back for match number 2. This is an interesting hand. Obviously, it's got the good start with the monster Swift Spear and then multiple bolts and such. So good swift kill. Depending on. So Urborg is never a good sign for us. So Guess we lead on Goblin Guy, because either one's going to be doing... Presumably they have a Fatal Push. Of course they do. Smallpox, great. Card we can pretty safely throw away is the Searing Blaze. Pox is generally not a good matchup for us, by the way. Liliana, okay. Definitely getting rid of Searing Blaze here. Good pass turn. Okay. All right. So without Skullcrack, we're pretty well dead here. Opponent just gets to throw Bower's Skull into the mix, and so black-white Smallpox. Okay. All right. So Stoneforge, Mystic, Smallpox. Interesting. Small. Black-white Smallpox. So they are kind of a nightmare matchup for us. They've got the Stoneforge Mystic package, Kaya's Guiles. Overall, an interesting mix of cards. Trying to think what's the best. I don't really want to leave Searing Blaze in my deck. Probably want Skull Cracks. And then how many smashes would I even want for that kind of effect? Well, let's take a look at what cards I already have in the main deck and which ones I don't want. I think the main deck is fine. Doesn't seem like they'll be in a hurry to jam Stoneforge on 2, so not like I can presume to answer Stoneforge before they can, like... Seems pretty reasonable. Goblin Guide and Eidolon. I have to also keep in mind that we were on the draw last game, so if things are flipped, I might have been able to deploy enough creatures and spells to have dealt them enough damage. Okay, into Inquisition or Thoughtseize. Alright. Could play Eidolon, but I think I just want to do this first, see if we trigger a... Yep. Silent Clearing is the pain land, correct? Hopefully they don't have Brutality this turn. Tells me you don't have an answer to... Probably have to take either one of the Skull Cracks or one of the 1-drop spells here. Okay. Do this, hold up Bolt. Not going to play into a Kaya's Guile. Go ahead and Skull Crack in response, put you to 5. I mean, sure, you're going to 8, I guess. Don't know why you waited till after I cast that spell, but, you know, whatevs. Alright, so barely getting there in game 2 on the play. Don't think there's really any considerations being on the draw. Because they also showed us Dark Confidant game number 1, but those probably aren't in their deck right now. This hand is actively pretty terrible. I think we have to mulligan, despite having... This hand isn't great either, but we definitely keep. I'll get rid of the Fiery Islet. Okay. Yeah, if they have push and guile, it's kind of whatever. Nope, still Yana. Which is her own brand of annoying. Roll through the turn. Helixer, I guess. Can't really play around them having whatever, so just do the thing. If they have guile, they have guile. Don't like dealing myself with the extra damage, but could just be discarding like Lingering Souls. Nope, another Fatal Push. Okay, sword, sure. All right. Sure. Through the turn. Minor Mage, sure. So close yet so far away. Go. Guess I should have kept the sure. Yep. And got there. Wow. Alright. Definitely can't complain about this league so far. We're back for match number 3 on the draw here. This hand's a little sketchy. Not having a 1-drop creature obviously is a downside. I still think this hand's in the range of keepable. Like, Riftbolt into double Skewer the Critics is perfectly fine, so I think we keep it, but still not the best hand in the world. And Searing Blaze is likely quite bad in this situation. So likely Urza. Ooh. Or the Breach combo deck, that's rough. So what are their builds packing these days? Let's see. Grinding Station. Haven't actually run into this deck yet, so... Okay, so they have some number of counter spells. I just gotta kill this regardless, so... Okay. Targeting myself, sure. That's awkward. Let's go ahead and tap their mana this turn. If they are smart enough to pop it right away, at least. Yep. Okay. Alright, so we can deal them 10, put them to 3. Not ideal, but... Am I dead? So their aim is to get Underworld Breach, Grinding Station, grind their deck out, and then play a Thassa's Oracle to kind of win the game. What you got, friend? Okay, Urza. Teferi. Okay. Sure. Alright, let's see. Do you have a counterspell? Alright. They have multiple copies of Urza in their deck. So we definitely want these smashes. Do we want skull cracks? Doesn't appear we do. And obviously we want the rested pieces. Go down. Some number of Searing Blazes. Go down Boros Charms. Yeah, Helix. Try like that. Like Boros Charm obviously has some potential application against engineered explosives, etc. But Searing Blaze also has applications. Lightning Helix allows us to kill Emery. Yeah, I think I'm keeping the multiple hate piece hand. Just hazarding a guess. Okay, sure. That's one card in hand, sure. Okay. Okay. It's kind of annoying, but I guess it's better that gets countered than something else. Alright, so... Wow, okay. Okay. All right. Definitely should have killed Emery when we had the chance. Not going to do a whole lot good, unfortunately. We're playing too reactive of a game this game. Still a couple turns off from killing them, so... Yep. Should have realized the Mox Amber was up, so wouldn't do any good there. This is a very weird matchup. Say Boros Charm would be lethal, but Boros Charm isn't currently in our deck, so. Okay, Astrolabe, sure. Guess that's a card they'd reasonably keep on top with a cantrip ability. Urza, okay. Ah, now you have a real decision on your hands. Do you want to risk going to 3? That's what I wanted. Nothing I can do this turn anyway, so I may as well just F6 through the turn. think this game, unfortunately, was a lost cause. Kind of funny, they have both the Urza thing going on and the combo part of the deck. Sure. All right. Looks like we want the Boros Charms back in. Copy of Blaze, and 2 copies of Blaze, 3 Boros Charms. At least we would have had a one card out to draw to. Final game in this match. Hopefully we can get a nice aggressive start. Yeah, it's a pretty nice aggressive curve here. Riftbolt, smash to smithereens. We'll lead on Inspiring Vantage. Obviously, we want to save Bloodstained Mire to our second or third land. That way we could potentially trigger Searing Blaze on their turn. Okay, probably gonna have an Emery on one, which is annoying. Okay, no Emery on one is good. Okay, they're drawing a Lightning Bolt. Go through the turn. It's got some decisions to make here, apparently. Okay. I wonder if they kept a one-lander. No, they have another land. Okay. Sure. Do you have a Mox? Get this the heck out of dodge. Learn your lesson. Well, I'm feeling this one's going to be a tough one for them to wiggle their way out of. Because pretty much no matter whatever they cast, Ants or Eidolon's going to deal them 2 damage, which leaves them dead to Smash or the Goblin Guides. Got my dear friend. Alright, and that's the match. So off to a 3-0 start. Pretty nice. On to the next match. Back for match number 4. We are on the play. Huh. So, is this 4-card hand good enough without these 3 cards if we don't draw another land? I think the answer is yes. Obviously, we're hoping to rip another land, but in case we don't, we do have a fairly quick clock already. Should fetch a Sacred Foundry here, since we'll be able to cast our spells regardless of what land we draw. So, this hand is a bit of a gamble. And Swept Heath, that doesn't tell me a whole lot. Surprised if we get pathed here. Trigger 1. Is this some type of Naya deck? Okay, so they're in fact not going to do that. Green, interesting. Oh, okay. Davy Dargans. Land is good. Trigger. Ah, concession. Okay. So the problem here is pillage. We are likely up against a version of Ponza monsters or Gruul Midrange. Has such wonderful things as Clothis and such, which are very difficult to beat. Skull cracks are essential. And beyond that, we don't have a whole lot to bring in. So cards that are potential reasonable for cuts include Boros Charms, Skewer the Critics, and on the draw, potentially Eidolon. I think on the draw I'm going to cut 2 Eidolons and 2 Skewer the Critics. So I'm normally a huge fan of cutting Boros Charm in these situations, but a number of you have been making comments that in situations where I'm cutting Boros Charm, you guys can't Skewer the Critics, so we'll give it a go. Actually, I lied. So our opponent has got Blood Moon effects in their 75, which they are likely to leave in some numbers, especially Magus. And so limiting the number of spells that get blanked are probably a good thing. Yeah, hope you don't have the Arbor Elf draw. Or we draw a Bolt. Though I don't think they're likely to lead on hands that rely on Arbor Elves. One thing about the version of the deck they're likely on is they close the game a lot faster than traditional Ponza or green. Okay. We're not going to be able to do anything about that either way, so. Could very well get our first land or 2 blown up, so. Clothis is just such a beast in an extended game. Yep. If it was a land, they accelerate. If it's a And the scary part is these are adding devotion, so I'm about to get hit with a glory banger. I am. How much damage can we do this turn? Can I kill them over 2 turns? So suspend this, cast this next turn. Spend this, cast this, cast this. So that's 4, 8. Sorry, I'm doing some math here. 4, 8, 9 damage. Put them to 8. They go back to 10. Untap. Deal 3, 6. Can't count on Swiftspear getting through for anything more. At this point, we're just trying to dump everything and kill them as quickly as possible. Because they're going back to 10 this turn. Blood Braid. Question is, do they go face? Or do they take the conservative play? So we need to draw exactly Boros Charm here. That's no longer in our deck. Seems about right. Block there. Take 5. I think we're dead either way, so. Yeah, we're dead to Clothis Trigger. Alright. Clothis is certainly a card. Still don't think I bring in Boros Charm. Core Firewalker just seems a little slow. So it has too many lands and it's too slow. This hand has potential. Really want to draw another land though. Back one of the Eidolons. Kept their 6-card hand. I guess we fetch this, although the damage is not inconsequential in these situations. They're drawing an Arbor Elf. Hopefully we rip a land and we can just blaze that thing. I guess Bolt's also perfectly acceptable in this situation. Wow. Looks like a stomp situation. Looks and feels like a stomp. Alright. Questerson's a real thing. Okay, I'm going to 4. Hopefully it's not Bailoff. Bailoff would be a beating. Yep, the Bird Elf. Okay. Ice Drinker, don't particularly care. No attacks, just hold up Skull Crack so we don't get life gained here. Sure. Skull Crack you to 1. Tap and kill you. Alright. 4-0 start. Nice start for a Burnley. Anyways, on to match number 5. Hey, we're back for match number 5 on the draw again. Sand has a huge amount of upside and multiple 1-drop plays, so I think we keep it, although once again, a little bit risky. This is one of those hands that once again needs a second land to be truly functional, though there is plenty of play just with 1 Earth. So, land, get a 1-drop. Okay. The fact that they're not shocking is a good thing. We up against Jund, or are we up against something else? We are up against Green Black Field. Alright. The racing will now commence. Oof. That's a little rough. MTG Goldfish of Promise. Yeah, we're just going to presume they're the normal. Alright, one of these times you're going to learn this lesson. Always sack your elders. Well, they're our promise. That's kind of scary. Do you have a Dryad? Looks like the answer is no. Does look like you are gaining a bunch of life next turn, though, however. Explorer. So they're going to 13 next turn. Hopefully just casting Hour of Promise. Yep. 3 dead. Hopefully they don't have another Radiant Fountain. Guess they could grab the Suva. Go to 15. Okay. So you're dead. You failed to interact and you died. Alright. So I think I will be going to Twiter. Because I do believe this is a list I retweeted the other day. So, yep, very similar to the list Will Pulliam was playing. Some Balos in the sideboard, some Abrupt Decays. So I probably want my Skull Cracks. Searing Blaze is debatable. What other card is interesting in that slot? So Blaze has 10 targets before there's a bunch of zombies. 4 Dryad, 4 Sakura Tribe Elder, 2 Arboreal Grazer. Doesn't kill Dryad, so I think we're just supposed to cut these guys and bring in the Skull Cracks. So the nice thing, they don't have the true combo potential of True Amulet, but they do. Well, it's a keepable hand, but it's not good. Good hands being here, having 1-drop into other stuff, 1-drop creature into other stuff, but I still think it's a keep because we still have Riftbolt into Eidolon. Which means they probably have Search for Tomorrow or a Arboreal Grazer here. I think we're supposed to play Monastery Swift Spear, although it's pretty clear it's not going to do any damage this game. It's possible it's still supposed to suspend Rift Bolt this turn. Okay, there's a Sack Elder. I'm debating if they want to push here. Obviously, we're supposed to attack. But I think we're in a world of trouble this game. Pretty sure they have a forest in hand. Okay, 5 mana on turn 3. Okay. Seems pretty clear they don't have any interaction, so I'm expecting to get Titan next turn. Nothing. How can you have nothing? Okay. Radiant Fountain Field of the Dead? Question mark. through the turn. Opponent's got to pay for a pact, which, eh. Three, 6, 9, 12. Somehow need them to take another 2 points of damage without gaining life. I don't see them doing. Because right now we have the Rift Bolt suspended, Lightning Helix Skewer. So that's 12 damage as is. Taking 4, 5 effectively whenever we're if they attack with Primeval Titan, I think I gang block with everything, Helix the face. Then if they try to Abrupt Decay or something, they're taking extra damage. I think you attack with all the zombies here. See what they do first. Where are they bouncing here? Presumably, yeah, Rain Fountain. I feel like that's just going to be really bad for us either way. It's really one of the Eidolons in play, which actually isn't good for us. I think we're just dead next turn regardless, so... play the Radiant Fountain, go to 13. Zombies. Bailiff. Why would you... I don't understand. You had lethal. Alright, Boros Burns are still in my deck, so that's an out. So I'm pretty sure I'm dead here. So I can put them to 1. 1 is not 0. Don't think there's any way we survive this, but yeah, I don't think they should have cast the second Summoner's Pact. Give us the out-drawing Boros Charm. Alright. It was a close game. Opponent made a minor mistake that gave us at least the out to kill them. So we had what, a 4-outer there out of 40 some cards to kill them, so roughly a 10% chance our top deck killed them from there. Don't think any of these other cards made sense, so. Alright, this hand is functional but awkward. So definitely need a white source at some point, but I think Goblin Guide on the play, I can't really turn that down. And if we ever draw one of our 15 white sources, we're in really good shape. What are the odds that they have? Life gain spell this turn. Just supposed to unload my hand here. Can't presume they have their one of Radiant Fountain. They don't, unfortunately. Okay, is this an Abrupt Decay or a Explore? Explore. Come on, deck, give me in a white source. Sweet. Okay, I'm giving them a land. I think I gladly trade giving them a land for 2 more damage here. Presume it's just Tireless Tracker and a land. So close. Sure, I'm good with Steve. On deck, give me something that kills them. Don't think there's anything for 1 black man I'm afraid of. Is that the 5-0? Nice. Nice. Hey, we're back here for the wrap-up of our league with this particular list of Boros Burn. Nice 5-0 sweep. A lot of close matchups there. You know, the matchup against Black Green Titan, the matchup against Pox were both pretty close. The Urza Breach deck was an... or not Urza. Yeah, the Urza Breach deck was an interesting twist of a matchup. It was nice to have Rest in Peace for that matchup. Although I do think in the end we got a little bit too clogged up on hate cards there in game number 2. List felt simplistic, felt pretty solid. I think sometimes I've gotten caught up in the nuance of, oh, I want 2 of this card, I want 2 of that card. And then just sometimes simplistic is best, you know. We didn't even bring in the core Firewalkers, and, you know, I don't even complain about them. And there are so many matchups where your sideboard cards are just kind of in burn. Like Path XL, okay, you clear in a big dude. Might win you the game, might buy you a couple turns, might do absolutely nothing. Smash to Smithereens has spots where it's excellent, you know, blowing up a Chalice. Skullcrack has spots where it saves the game, you know. All these sideboard cards, not to knock on Path, or not to knock on, you know, some of the other cards like Searing Blood that you bring in sometimes. But those cards don't always swing matchups. I think these 15 cards, having them at the right time, can swing matchups. Rest in Peace can swing matchups against Dredge and Storm. Core Firewalker can swing Burn Mirrors. Matchups against Prowess, Goblins, Burn the Mirror. Skullcrack can swing, you know, opponent taps out for an arrow. Skullcrack in response. Smash to Smithereens can blow up a Batterskull, can blow up a Chalice of the Void, can blow up an Urza token, buying you a couple of turns. Can Could blow up an ensnaring bridge. You know, lots of cards that just can potentially lock key portions out of the game. So I'm not saying this is the best burn sideboard, even in the current meta, but I do think sometimes things get overly complicated. Sometimes it's just easy to return to the simplistic sideboards. So maybe that's something to consider if you've been in a funk with a particular deck. Just return to the basics and build from there. You know, maybe your convoluted sideboard, like you want your in a Jund sideboard, for instance, do you want a third collective brutality or a second choke? You know, sometimes it's just easier to simplify it and then just kind of rework from there. So, kind of the wrap up here for this 5.0 video. So, this has been John for MTG Nexus.